finds is that just in hardpoint and in general, their team KD just so low compared to other teams. I don't think there's anyone even over a 0.9.
Yeah.
But here we go. We're hopping on board with Nimble on Valkyrie hardpoint, and well, he meets TJ Halley very quickly as trades go back and forth, but early control over to Rise Nation.
Yeah, and especially for on the side of Tainted Minds, if your KDs are going to be underneath a 0.9 like that, you're going to have to start picking it up in the slaying category, especially on a map like Valkyrie. So I think they might be testing out their vetoes here, but early control is going to transition over to Tainted Minds. So they do have the favorable side for the next, so if they're able to hold this time.
Yeah, and I think what we were talking about on trading shots is they don't have the best KDs, but they've had some close games, which means they are playing properly. It's just, you know, playing with the best North American teams in the world, even some of the better European teams, you have to be able to slay, and you can see it right there. Rise Nation, they're able to push on through. You see where those 3 arrows spawn up. Rise doing a very good job of pushing towards this operations bunker. They flipped those spawns exactly what they wanted.
Yeah, you saw Swifty try to hold that front operations bunker side and the elbow. He gets in an engagement with Looney, gets taken out, and then Rise kind of just pummeled through and flipped those spawns out there. So seamless play out of Rise in transition to this hill, and they almost have the optimal setup here. So it's going to be a little bit troublesome for Tainted to try to get these spawns.
Yeah, you can see where Tainted's spawning over towards that smokestack area. It's so difficult, you know, at least if you're spawning out front, you're towards smokestacks, you may be able to sort of flood that elbow, but now they have to go all the way around. It's just so hard to break on through, especially when you have Slasher out front. All the kills go on their way. TJ, he's on a 5 spree, and I think you guys talked about it on the desk. The toughest thing is playing Rise after a loss because they just want to beat everybody. They want to come back with a vengeance.
Oh, especially. And TJ actually earns that glide bomb there. And you saw how Rise just had so many, they had eyes on every single angle on that street. Tainted Minds could not find TJ Halley. TJ Halley gets in the back there, takes out 2 players, picks up his glide bomb. Tainted looking to rotate here to the school area and set up.
Yeah, now you can see Tainted Minds, as you said, they rotated over. Looney, though, he's going to, you know, push on through, find Nimble. We'll see where Nimble spawns. That is not good, as you see Nimble spawns all the way across. So now you have a 3 versus 3 with damage, able to find 1. Finds his second as well. As you said, very big wins from him. This is the key for Tainted Minds. This is where those important kills come in on those rotations. If they want to get back into the game, this is where it has to be.
Yeah, that was a key 2-piece out of damage right there, so they can retain control of this Junkyard. But if you see, one of the players on Tainted Minds actually spawns up, does not pick up the pinch. Number 2, that's going to be TJ Halley, has been working on that for about 30 seconds. That player on Tainted needed to hold the pinch there. TJ Halley and Looney are going to break in and get control of the hill. Just a fundamental error out of Tainted Minds, and that's something that they're going to have to improve upon if they want to compete against these top teams.
Yeah, and that's just it. You know, especially on a map like Valkyrie, where hills are, I would say, not easier to hold, but every single hill has an opportunity to get 40 to 50 seconds. We always talk about it. And they have to be able to hold those to stay in those games. If you allow a team like Rise Nation to get 2 or 3 hills in a row, that game is just going to be over. Now you have Slasher on the hill. He's on a 4 spree, getting very close to streaks. You already saw you had some streaks on TJ, but nice shots from Nimble and Swifty. With 8 seconds left out, you can see already Rise setting up at office.
Yeah, and that's just unfortunate. Like, if you let a player pinch you, and a top team like Rise, they're going to try to set those pinches on every single rotation. So you have to be aware of it. They're not just going to try to flood into it. So Rise actually does exactly what they need to do. They ensure that Junkyard spawn for the next hill. Currently in control, number 5. That is going to be Swiftazor. Needs to get a big kill here. He might be able to spell a little bit of trouble for Rise. They spawn out.
Yep, so good job by Swiftazor, as you pointed out, but the rest of his teammates not able to get kills, but just wait a second, and Swifty and Swiftazor find another one. Swifty, though, yep, there we go. Find Slasher in the back. That will secure Tainted Mind spawn, so 33 seconds left.
So number 2, that is going to be TJ. He gets taken out. So right there, they pick up on the pinch, and they're going to be able to hold a little bit of this time if they're able to trade correctly. But Gunless, the man, the myth, the legend, comes in with the 2-piece. Trade's going back to Tainted Minds. Last 20 seconds should be theirs, Joe.
No, definitely so. Now you can see all these arrows going over towards smokestacks, and obviously if you have some streaks, this is exactly where you're going to want to use it. We'll see as Rise Nation. There's 10 seconds left. As Tainted Minds try to go for a push. They do right now. I don't mind that play. You're going to spawn up pretty far. You know, there's no time going against you right now. So Tainted Minds, they fought their way back into it with that offense control, but you can see TJ. He has that glide bomb. He's getting pushed out. You can see where TJ is and where Gunless are. That's exactly where you want to be pushed out, but Swiftazor actually spawns behind him.
Yeah, so I don't think Gunless is aware of the spawn on Swiftazor. Swiftazor is going to take him out. They're going to be able to have a pinch here. That's going to be number. That's going to be damage, and Swiftazor here on the pinch. And Looney and Slasher are just going to clean house and 2v4 here in the hill.
Yeah, I think a player in Looney last week had such a big week. Even in their loss against E United, he's been a guy that's sort of stepped up, and I think a lot of people are like, you know, TJ right now is only at like a 0.9, but typically that's Looney, right? Typically those two guys are switched around, but Looney's stepping it up big time, and you love to see that if you're Rise Nation. If all 4 of those players can play at the top of their game, that's when we consider them the best team in the world. And
that's the thing about Looney as well, is he's not typically the player you look at as the slayer, but one thing I think that he's starting to show a lot is kind of his leadership in the game. He's holding those spawns, and people are pushing him, and he's being that nuisance. And that is an underrated aspect of a player, being a nuisance and staying alive in the back and just being annoying to the other team.
Yeah, just buying time.
Best at it. Yep.
Yeah, but here we go. Only about a 50-point game, though. Tainted Minds, they do fight on back those last couple hills. Swift is in a very long fight with Looney, as you were just talking about, his ability to stay alive. Looney able to find one nice nade from Swifty, you know, back TJ out of that hill. But Rise, they do have early ventilation control damage, able to find one. That'll start sort of that first push for Tainted Minds, but the kills coming in for Rise Nation as they lock this one down.
And one thing I'd like to point out is that Slasher was kind of just holding that main street there for about 30 seconds, and Tainted Minds wanted none of that. They didn't come to that street at all, which just told the guys on Rise Nation, hey, they have to flood through this doorway or this doorway, so they just pre-aim both of them. Tainted can't get in. If you don't have an AR contesting Slasher, you're going to have a hard time.
Yeah, so we'll have to look at damage to contest those gunfights with Slasher. You can see right now, Tainted Minds, they're focused on that operations bunker. You have a couple of players in the hill, and you actually have a couple of players towards that smokestacks. But Looney, he just jumps on in. They have a nice pinch. He's able to find 2. And as you said, Nimble and Damage were just so far away from the hill, they didn't flood on in. That gives Rise Nation control.
Yep, and what happens right there is Looney actually sneaks through past Damage's screen, becomes that nuisance like I was talking about, gets that 2-piece. Rise Nation break on it. TJ Halley going to be able to hold this down here with Looney.
And you can see almost the same pinches the last time we were here. You have Gunless here. You have Slasher in the back. The Tainted Mind players, though, they just jump in that window. A couple of kills go their way. With 40 seconds left, they do have control. You have Nimble pushed out towards the front. That gets traded out, but Slasher's still alive in the back. And you can see what his position does. Due to where he is, he spawns Nimble so far out. It just takes them so long to reinforce his push. But finally, they're able to find Slasher in the back. Switches are able to find TJ. And, well, it looks like Rise Nation, they're going to give up on this one.
That was actually a fantastic play out of Swifty. He kind of, he was hiding inside of that little closet area, and when all of the Rise Nation players started to come through that elbow, I guess he got the communication, the call out that they were going there, comes out, gets the 2-piece, gets away with his life, and now he's trying to set up this rotation for his team.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised. Tainted Minds, they're hanging, you know, pretty strong so far. You know, they're only down 60. Looking at the scoreboard, though, the slaying very heavily favors Rise Nation, as we would expect. And TJ, yeah, is going to call in that glide bomb, and they have a very solid setup here at Storage.
Yeah, this is about as tough as a setup as you got. You got Gunless sitting over there in the junkyard area, and you have number 3, it's going to be Slasher holding their pinch. If they want to get into the hill, they have to kill Gunless or Slasher. In power positions, that's going to be a tall task. Rise doing a tight setup here.
Yeah, and you can see as soon as they do go down, look where Gunless is once again. Just having those close spawns as well. 3 go down, and just 15 seconds needed for Rise Nation to win this map number 1. Tainted Minds, they have to break in. They have to break in quickly. Switazor able to find Gunless, but nobody in the hill right now. Slasher, though, as you said, in a very powerful position. But he gets taken out by Swifty. The last push here for Tainted Minds. They're trying to flood the front door. So you have Damage just with the bar, though, not able to find anything. 1 more second needed, and Rise Nation able to take game 1.
Well played out of Rise Nation. They had about every single spawn there, other than the operations bunker on the second time, or on the second run of hills, and they executed perfectly. Their setups are on point. This is well played.
And you can see how much that win meant to Rise. You saw absolutely no expression. I think I saw an interview that came out today, and it was like, Gunless truly believes that you should have no social life outside of Call of Duty, which we know, man. He's the guy that sort of sets the standard for grinding. He's the one that has all these pros playing these pubs.
Yeah, I mean, I heard a rumor that after their loss to United, Gunless was just chilling in his room all day, just grinding, because he was pretty angry and upset, rightfully so. And coming out win that first map, Rise is ready to just steamroll this week, it looks like.
No, definitely so. I think that's sort of the big discussion. Obviously, a lot of matches, a lot of very important matches for teams like Rise and Optic. I believe tomorrow Optic will have that matchup against E United, but everybody's looking forward towards Thursday, right? Rise versus Optic, which will probably be that sort of match for the first place. Obviously, Optic right now undefeated. Rise, they only have 1 loss. So even if Optic was to lose yesterday to E United, that should set up that match. Depending on if, now, this match after this is Optic Gaming versus Mindfreak, and Mindfreak, they did look very solid against Luminosity. So we'll have to see what happens between those two teams. But before we go into map number 2, I believe Jess had a chance to talk to Looney.
Thanks, Joe. That's right. I did actually catch up with Looney, and he said that they're really eager to get back on track and get some of those dubs back on the board after that loss to United, as you guys were talking about. He said that that loss was disappointing, but, you know, Rise has been looking over VODs and doing everything they can basically to make sure they don't repeat those same mistakes. So he said they are feeling good during this series, so we'll see how it shapes up. Joe, back over to you.
Yeah, and you love to hear that if you're a Rise Nation fan. Obviously, you know, a loss, I think, that not a lot of us expected, especially sort of in reverse sweep fashion Thursday against United. United stepped up big time, but then in sort of a United fashion, they lose today against Unilad. But obviously, you know, you heard it there. They went over VODs. They want to get back on a roll. Rise Nation, to a lot of people, the best team in the world. They're trying to prep. They're trying to finish this week out strong and then really defend their crown, you know, after winning Seattle, see if they can win back-to-back at Anaheim. Yeah,
I mean, obviously here in Stage 2, they want to win as many matches as they can, but it's pretty comfortable for Rise. They're going to end up in that top 4 area. So losing a game in a Game 5, you know, reverse sweep, it isn't the end of the world, but if you're Rise, you do want to win every single match you can. So this is an important bounce-back match for them. I think that they want and need to win this 3-0 if they want to get back onto form and get those vibes back. And it's looking like it's going to be. This London Dock Search and Destroy is a map I've seen Rise just sweep and dominate. So I'm excited to see if they bring out any new strats after watching VOD the last couple of days.
Yeah, we'll have to see. No, obviously a match like Tainted Minds, you know, I think we saw it a lot in Stage 1 where Luminosity, they had first place for so long. They tested out so many different things in Search and Destroy, and you know coming into this match, you are the heavily favored team over Tainted Minds, so maybe they've planned some tricks up their sleeve. I know one thing, though, TJ so active around the middle of the map, you know, has so many different angles on that statue hill. Yeah,
TJ is one of the best Search and Destroy players in the game, and it's for a few reasons, but one primarily being he takes a lot of risks.
Yep.
TJ will force the issue, he'll push up, and he'll be in your face. Situationally, I don't think there's a player that's better than him in Search and Destroy. And I think that's the reason that propels Rise to be such a good Search and Destroy team is primarily TJ.
Yeah, I mean, TJ, I think Pharaoh as well. They're sort of like the two players that sort of come from that S&D like community. And that S&D Star S playstyle where they do take a lot of risks. You know, a lot of people say, hey, do it on land. And these two are like, all right, I will do it. So here we go. If you're just joining us, map number 1 went to Rise Nation about 250 to 130. They controlled Valkyrie very well. Tainted Minds, they're going to throw that A across smoke, but looks like they're trying to hit this B site.
Yeah, Slasher's going to have 2 players to deal with here. He's the only player at B. You see Tainted Minds throw that kind of decoy smoke over towards the A site. Not going to work, though, off the rip at least. Slasher with the first kill on Nimble. Gunfight's going down mid-map.
Yeah, and you can see Gunless, he's able to find one as well. As soon as that smoke goes down, Gunless doesn't see anyone. He kind of knows that was a fake smoke, so he pushes up to this window, able to get so much map control, lets his team know where those players are, finds 2 kills. Damage, though, nice shots on both of those players. No, this player has a snipe as well. He does read that correctly, just runs out of ammo, but just from that first blood, Slasher and Gunless able to take round 1.
I'm curious as to what Tainted Mind strat was there. It seemed like they were trying to decoy A, and then they decided to maybe...
I think it worked as well.
Yeah, they decided to maybe hit them with a reflank at A, and it just seemed to not work out because they timed it bad. Gunless just said, hey, I'm going to sit in this window and not move, and picks up a 2-piece. So great patience out of Gunless there. Easy round for Rise Nation.
Yeah, and I mean, you had Looney with that sniper rifle. He wasn't able to find much due to that smoke. The smoke did its job, but I think Tainted Minds were just a little bit too slow, you know, hitting that B site. Because as soon as Gunless knows that there's nobody over here, hey guys, you guys at B, heads up. So here we go, Rise Nation, they're back on the attack. Swifty, he has Looney here, but he also has Nimble's help. So we'll see who's going to get this first blood. As it looks like it's going to happen towards this B-Dom area.
Yeah, so right now the guys on the side of Tainted Minds, they're thinking that all of Rise is going to be pushing towards A. Rise kind of doing like a mid-map setup here while slowly pushing a B. There's nobody that has eyes on the bomb site. Nobody has eyes on that street at all. That is going to be a bomb plant for Slasher, a player already into lights. That's going to be TJ Halley. Early round control for Rise. This round's looking like a clean, easy round for Rise. That was a very well, like, they decoyed the hell out of them on that right side of the map.
No, they definitely did. I mean, you had Swift as our top middle statue. You know, he was trying to watch the cross. Gunless, able to find 2. He's a perfect 5-0. Damage now left in a 1 versus 3. Such a tough situation. But yeah, I mean, Tainted Minds, they can't give up that much map control. They have to choose. If we're going to give up B, we have to take middle of the map. They can't allow Looney to get that much map presence. They have to be able to trade that, not able to do so. Looney finds the first blood, and as all of that's going down, they get a free planet B.
They hit him with the old switcheroo, Joe. That's something we used to do all the time. Throw the smoke, go over there and plant it. It worked like a charm, so that was a great strategy out of Rise Nation. Up 2-0 early here in the Search and Destroy.
Yeah, I think one team that did it so well throughout Stage 1 was FaZe. They'd constantly put a ton of pressure towards that lower A site, and then as soon as Priesta found an opening, he would just go and plant that, you know, that bomb towards the B. So we'll see now. Can Tainted Minds get back into this one? They've had some good showings in Search and Destroy. It looks like Swifty and Nimble playing very aggressive top middle. Look at Nimble.
So Rise opts to go with a 2-2 split here. Number 3, that's going to be Nimble. He's going to sprint down straight center of the map. He needs to make something happen here. You either hit him with a B or an A flank right away.
Oh,
he's just kind of lurking around the map. He gets taken out. You hate to see that one out of Nimble. Makes the play, and oh my God, TJ Halley. That's a situational awareness. He's going to jump out there, get a 2-piece damage, answers back with a 2-piece of his own. This round has been absolutely chaos, Joe.
Yeah, Nimble, I mean, he takes that risk. I like the play call. You have Swift Azor and Nimble pushing up towards middle, but as you said, Nimble has to find something, not able to do so. At least get in the fire, give yourself a position. As you said, he hesitated. Now you have Damage left in a 1 versus 2. Damage has been that guy, the last alive for a couple of times. He's playing this pretty smart. 30 seconds left, though.
Damage is he's in a great position here. He has the bomb down towards his side of the map. He's going to get eyes on one. All he has to do here is back up, play his life, and maybe take out one early on. Goes for the early challenge. Don't know if I agree with that one. Now he's going to die. See, I would have liked to see Damage kind of go back to that second hardpoint heady and kind of hold that angle there on the bomb.
Yep.
Decides to go for a gunfight, which I don't truly agree with, and ends up losing the round. Could have easily won that one, Joe.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to get information, right? He's able to find Gunless, you know, coming out of Coal Room, but didn't know where that second guy was. And that second player went all the way around through Underground. They were trying to trap him inside Lights, and they were able to do so. But as you said, you would have liked him to back on up towards that second hard point, get it at least on that box. You don't have eyes on the bomb, but at least it's better to take that 1 versus 1.
For sure. So we're looking over to the side of Tainted. They're going to be going with a 2-2 split. Mid-map is going to be open. That's going to be Looney pushing up towards B with the bomb site. Smokes out, looking like a B push. Miss snipe out of Swifty.
Yeah, but Damage is able to find a kill. He's able to find, you know, second. I mean, he has 6 kills. The rest of his teammates have 1. I mean, this guy's trying to do it all and keep his team in it. Swifty, we've seen his sniper from time to time beyond, and I mean, a lot of the times they depend on it, but you have Looney in such a good spot. But who is it? It's Damage once again. 7 and 3 on a 3 spree. One player left is Slasher. And there we go. Nimble able to find a kill, give that bomb to Damage. A great round for him. Really a great game.
Yeah, extremely good round out of Damage. I think the sniper scared the side of Rise Nation. Damage going to go in there and clean everybody up. One thing I will say about that sniper is I have seen Swifty use it a little bit too much in Search and Destroy. He had it out for about 9 out of 11 rounds in a 6-5 that I watched him play. So I like the switch up now where I've seen him run a sub a few rounds already in this game and pulling out the sniper right there, kind of threw the side of Rise Nation off, and Damage is able to clean up some easy kills there. So solid round out of Damage and bounce back out of Tainted Minds.
All right, so let's see if Tainted Minds can keep this momentum going back on offense. You see Swifty and Nimble. I was going to say, are they going to go for that middle push again? But Damage takes that gunfight. You know, at least he gets 1. As you can see, a lot of B pressure from Rise Nation. They 3-stack it, but Tainted Minds, they left the bomb. They're all over the place right now.
Yeah, Tainted Minds kind of just a little bit too excited from that previous round. They leave the bomb in the spawn there. This round seems their strategy. There's no strategy this round. They're just kind of lurking around this A site. Yeah. A miracle's going to have to be put off here by Swiftazor and Swifty.
And look where TJ is already. Like, so much map control over to Rise Nation. And there we go, 4-1 lead for Rise. I mean, Damage steps out, gets a kill, has no follow-up. They're still inside barrel. There was still 1 player in the spawn. They had no map control at all.
Well, that player that's supposed to be assisting them and looking towards that water steps area had to back up from the ramp to go pick up the bomb. So that's kind of just a clerical error out of Tainted Minds, and all the momentum they get from that 3-piece out of Damage just gets stripped away from them. So very tough round on the side of Tainted Minds. You'd love to see them maybe take the momentum into the next round.
Yeah, which you'll see as once again, I mean, you have 8 kills from Damage, only 2 from the rest of the team. You need those guys to step it up. It's always so frustrating to watch. Rise, though, they did throw 1 bad smoke that does not land where they want it to, and Swiftazor is able to spot Looney, so good first blood onto him. You have Nimble in a good position, but watch that number 8, that Slasher. Yeah, he's able to find 1 kill on a Swifty. He does his job. He's just going to back up now to his team, watch their flank.
Yeah, and one thing I would like to note is Looney did actually see Nimble get down there underground. That's what TJ went to go kill him right away. Nimble takes him out. Swiftazor. Nimble shutting down the 2v3 push over there at A bomb site. Slasher.
I mean, Gunless just jumps through the window, right? He's so confident right now. Jumps on through. As you said, though, Swift Azor. He's watching over Nimble's back, and now you have Nimble in this window. But Slasher, as you said, don't peek that.
Why are they peeking this man? Slasher is a bad man. He's the best AR in the game. You don't peek him. You stay down. They have the bomb down on a bomb site. As a pro team, as a team in the league, when you play against these teams, if there's any pro players watching, do not peek this player.
Yep.
So now they're in a 1v1 situation. Damage, if there's anybody you want on Tainted Minds in this 1v1, it is going to be Damage.
You can see how he's playing. Yeah, he's trying to get some info. Like, maybe just see if Slasher is going to wrap that bomb site, as we see a lot of players do. And he might end up doing it. Slasher going to be very loud, but he's going to strafe on in. Damage runs right at him. Slasher gets the 1 versus 3 and the ace on the round. And yeah, as you said, that's why a lot of players call him the best AR in the world. I mean, they gave him 2 opportunities, like 2 seconds. He beams him out of 1 window, another player piece from the other side. They give him that, and as you said, bombs down. That's just a mistake that can happen.
Yeah, and I would like to note, dating back to Stage 1 finals, when Optic got that 3v1 clutched on them by replays.
Yep.
Do not peek top ARs in the tin window. It doesn't end up well for you.
You feel safe, but you're not.
You're not. And in any clutch situation, you want to play your numbers. So 2 back-to-back tough rounds out of Tainted Minds. I like the start off in the rounds. It ends up going pretty unsmooth for them.
And now you saw some streaks on the side of Rise. You just need 1 more round to win this game. That's Gunless. Looney's able to find one. A lot of aggression, lower A. Here comes that glide bomb. He's going to find Swifty. Swifty trying to get a... Nope, not able to do so. We see a lot of players sort of prone on those stairs. Sometimes it saves them, but guess who's the last one left once again?
Let's go, Damage. 1v4, baby.
In a 1 versus 3. I mean, yeah, it's so tough.
He's doing it.
Obviously, he's been a guy in this position time and time again.
He's doing it, Joe.
No.
He's doing it. That's 1.
He's able to find 1 on TJ. You do have Slasher. He knows it, too, that this is a possibility. 1 player to go in the back. But, yeah, Slasher and Gunless. I don't know if this is happening.
It's definitely a tall task here. That bomb's going to be down over there on Water Street. If he wins this 1v1 versus Slasher, he has a chance to do it. He's doing it, Joe. He's doing it. I'm telling you. This is Damage. He's a bad man. He's going off this map. Get this bomb, go towards A. He spots him. He spotted him.
I don't know if he did, though. His teammates might have saw him. He still has a stun and a nade as well. And as you said, he knows where Gunless is. There's a challenge. Gunless, though, gets those early kills. Damage prones, and that's going to close out game number 2. Quite a performance there from Damage. He was always sort of the last one left. I think he finished with about 10 kills. The rest of his team had 6. But there was a couple of rounds where Tainted Minds, they were into it. They had the numbers advantage, and they just weren't able to close it. So just like that, 2 very quick maps, Rise Nation able to go up 2-0.
Yeah, solid performance out of Rise Nation. It was kind of textbook play. A lot of strats that I've seen them do previously seem to still be working. It's confident, yeah. I mean, you saw them pushing over towards 10 and just challenging all those gunfights. They're peeking the windows. They're getting ready for those gunfights, and they're winning them. So Rise steamrolling right now, feeling good.
Yeah, definitely so. Up next, we have RNN Forest capture the flag. Rise Nation with a commanding 2-0 lead. We shall see if Tainted Minds can fight back, or, well, are they going to have another loss in that column? We'll be back right after this. We are back between a match of Australians and Tainted Minds and the North American juggernauts in Rise Nation. Rise Nation having a very quick and commanding 2-0 lead over the guys from APAC, and we're going to Arden for CTF, and you and I were just talking. We can't believe Tainted Minds is actually playing Rise on Forest.
Yeah, Forest is a map where I've seen Slasher go off countless times. TJ and Looney like this map as well. This is going to be a tough map if they want to win it. I think they might just be trying to test out their map pool a little bit.
No, definitely so. So, I mean, that's sort of kind of what we talked about. As you said, coming into this match, you felt like these were some of the Rise Nation's best maps. I think you look at Valkyrie, you look at London Dock Search Destroy. As you said, we've seen it time and time again be successful maps for Rise Nation. We're going to go into Arden for CTF, and yeah, I mean, I just wouldn't want to go up against Slasher and Gunless with that double STG setup and knowing how quick Looney and TJ play on this map. But here we go. Game 3. It is 2-0. Ignore that graphic. You have Looney pushing very quickly. Nice job by Damage. If there was one highlight from Game 2 for Tainted Minds, it was definitely Damage.
Yeah, I mean, Damage is probably the only player on the side of Tainted Minds playing with any confidence right now. But Rise just, they know how to play this map to a T. And I think the one time I saw Tainted play this, they got a flag cap in 30 seconds, and then they lost 7-1.
Yeah, you see Nimble getting into a good position. There's just one player left, that's Looney. And due to this, he spawned that player out. Nice shots on the Looney. He is very weak, though. Those nades are going to come in. He's not going to be able to go for that flag just yet. Nice job by Swift Azor. He does get that flag just a little bit, and that flag is out. So one flag away for Tainted Minds. You have one player in the middle of the map. And Damage, this should be a cap for Tainted Minds and Swift Azor. The only player really close is Gunless, but just a little too slow. Shots come in from Looney. But that's it, 1-0, Tainted Minds.
So this is exactly what I saw them do against Optic, right? They get that cap in the first minute, and the only issue is they lost map control right away. So I'm curious to see if they fix the mistake and they hold map control here. That's going to be a big 3 kills out of Tainted Minds. Looks like they went back, watched the VOD, and they fixed their problems, Joe. They're going to be advancing over here in this no man's land.
Yeah, you'll see, though. Slasher's still alive. Good trade. This will allow Swifty to push up. Notice Nimble. Nimble playing very sneaky, very aggressive on the flanks. And there we go. Nimble able to find 2. TJ, the last player left, very weak. And you said, I mean, they looked great at the beginning of that Arden 4 CTF against Optic. You have that first player. That'll be Slasher. A lot of pressure on Swift Azor right now to just stay alive. All he needs to do is find 1 kill. Swifty finds 1 on the Looney. And there we go, 2-0 very quickly for Tainted Minds.
Yeah, and Swift Azor did his job right there. You know, he throws that grenade up there in that top ruins, puts a couple bullets in the opposing team, slows him down, and it's free cleanup kills for Damage. A couple players on Tainted Minds have to be working on streaks here. That was an amazing start off to this map. Big shout out to them for improving upon their mistakes from previous
and we just saw that. The flag was actually gone as well once again, but Looney was able to win that 1 versus 1. Looney, now the only player pushed up for Rise. You do have 1 player, that's TJ. He's set up really towards that ice tunnel. And there we go, 3 go down. Now it's on Swift Azor to at least find TJ, is able to do so. That should slow down the push. And you can see, due to that bell spawn, Gunless is gonna back on up. He wants to make sure there's no pressure in his base. And Tainted Minds, you have a 2-0 lead. Maybe you send 1 guy. That'll be Nimble. He's been the aggressor for them. But once again, Looney here near this Tainted Minds tank.
Yeah, and Swift Azor did a really good job. He was the only one left in the Tainted Minds base. He stayed alive, picked up both kills that he needed to do. And now his team is going to be able to advance and maybe take a little bit of map control. Damage is in a crucial position here, gets taken out. This is going to be map control out of Rise. TJ and Slasher pushing in for this flag pull. They're going to get this flag out. Big kills out of Slasher. TJ is going to be out with this one.
Yeah, he definitely is. I don't believe you have any streaks on the side of Tainted Minds. Even if you did.
They have a glide bomb.
They do have 1 glide bomb, as Nemo said, but even if you did, I think it's just a little too late. That player already so far gone. You have to make sure you get map control. That's really what you touched on earlier. They have to try and get cabin. They have to get ruins control. Don't allow Rise to have any good attacks. So now 1-2 as that flag does get put away by TJ. You still have Looney here alive. And yeah, really this past minute or so, Tainted Minds has just been stuck. They've been stuck in their base.
And one thing that has been kind of a thorn in the side of Rise Nation, it's been Nimble. He started off this game 6-1, and he kept pushing through that ruins and hitting Rise with the flank. So you see Looney being that captain and leader role that he is. He's just holding down you. He's making sure nobody gets behind the side of Rise Nation and that they hold map control. Great adjustment mid-game out of Looney, and great acknowledgement.
And there you go. There's Nimble once again. Nimble, though, able to win that one. Wins this second as well. Gunless, the last player left. He does find Damage. That'll force 1 player. That's Swift Azor to back on up. But Nimble does get free, but they're all going to back up. They want cabin control. You know, I don't mind this play. You know, try and get as much pressure as you can on the map. There we go. Swift Azor able to take him down. So you have Swifty towards ruins. The other couple of players in Swift Azor and Nimble pushing up towards this bunker side. Swift Azor, he gets traded out by Slasher, but here comes Nimble.
Yeah, and that's going to be Tainted Minds pushing up through this no man's land. They need to execute their trades here. Damage needs to hold cabin, all right? The trades don't go your way. You know, the push doesn't lead to a flagpole, but you don't lose map control. If you're damaged, you just hold it down here for your teammates to spawn up, get advanced a little bit on the map. And he's doing just that. Big kill on Gunless, putting some shots down here into TJ Halley and Bunker.
Yeah, and you see what that does. That forced Looney. He was back bell. He wraps all the way back towards that middle of the tank. The one thing is, though, you do have Slasher still alive towards that ruin side, but kills going the way of Tainted Minds. Oh, if Damage was able to get that one, maybe Swifty could have got a flagpole.
He's got a teammate here with him.
Swifty with him. There we go. But Gunless is trailing them, or Slasher's trailing them. Slasher was the one player that was alive all the way towards ruins, and they actually invested in the glide bomb. So let's see if these kills. Swifty able to find one. You have Nimble. He's going to have a 1 versus 1. He wins that. Another flag away. Yes, we are going to go into that extra time. Just Gunless up, and I mean, this should be another flag for Tainted Minds.
Yeah, I don't believe there's any streaks over there on the side of Rise Nation, so that's going to be another cap out of Tainted Minds. And what can we give that or attest that to? That map control out of damage. He held cabin down there for about a minute and a half. It led to them retaining map control. They execute one push. It fails, but you know what? He holds it. Here's another push. We get a cap. They're going into the half 3-1, so they learn from their mistakes. That was a well-played side of CTF.
No, it definitely was. I love that glide bomb usage, and then you had that big 1 versus 1 where Swifty was able to win it on Slasher when he flanked through that fire alley. So now pressure on the Rise Nation. You know, maybe they didn't expect this Tainted Minds. Maybe they thought Tainted Minds was down and out of it. You know, they are down 2-0, but a 3-1 lead. The one thing for Rise Nation, though, they are attacking that bunker side, you know, always the more favorable side, but still, 2 flags, always tough to get.
Yeah, and I think Rise just wasn't prepared for Nimble to be hitting those flanks off the rip. They kind of got off to an early lead here, so this is the favorable side for Rise Nation. Early caps usually can spell trouble for the other team. Big pressure out of Looney. Off the rip here. Yeah,
and you already have Slasher in a position with that STG, so we'll see if Switzer's already. He just has to try and find one, not able to do so. Here come the nades, but Slasher's already gone, and yeah, what you talked about, those early flag pulls can cause a ton of trouble. And I don't know, I mean, obviously some Tainted Mind players, stuns do come in. You have Nimble. He's in a position, he's really the only guy. Let's see what he's able to find. He's able to find one on TJ, traded out by Looney. Flagged now in the hands of Slasher.
Yeah, you have to be careful in the beginning of when you're on the bunker side here in this CTF, because teams can push straight up through that ruins area through you, and it's almost a more favorable gunfight for the guy challenging that fire tank because they use that camera, they win that gunfight, and then they have full map control. So well played out of Rise Nation, taking advantage of that and getting that first cap.
Yeah, you can see Slasher, he's starting to heat up a little bit. He's on a 3 spree at 12-9. The only player positive for Rise Nation. So maybe that just attests to Tainted Minds and their first half. You have Nimble, who, as you said, he started off 6-1. He slowed down a little bit, but then he picked it back up. He's at 14-9. You had Damage, who's at 13-9. He had a great game, too. Slasher, though, another great position for Rise Nation. You can see all 4 green arrows stuck in bunker. This could get dangerous for Tainted Minds.
Yeah, and you have Slasher holding down this fire tank. He's going to spot eyes on Damage. Gets taken out in the back by Swifty. That was a sneaky play. Nice bait and switch there out of Tainted Minds to regain map control. But Gunless is going to be the crucial player here. He's going to be holding down Cabin. He's going to need this to retain map control.
Oh, and great nades out of Tainted Minds, and you can already see Damage. He's pushing up ruins. You have Nimble, who plays so fast. I thought he was just going to hit middle. He's going to back on down, but that's just going to regroup. And really, all Tainted Minds needs to do is sort of trap them in this position towards this back bridge. If they win a couple of gunfights, they're just wasting time right now. Just 3 minutes left. Nice nade out of Looney. But there's Swifty, able to find one, can't find the second. So Rise Nation take the pressure off that ruin side, but can they get control of Cabin?
Yeah, the issue there was with Tainted Mind setup was that Nimble kind of played a little bit too slow there in that Cabin alley. I would have liked to see him edge up middle, maybe try to get a pick for the opposing team, but Rise just are able to methodically, one by one, take out the players of Tainted Minds. They didn't use their teamwork and their positioning to execute that push. Now Rise is going to be on the offense here, 3-stacking this no man's land, getting kills around bunker.
Yeah, Gunless able to find one. Swifty does find TJ. Swifty with his second. Swiftizor with one as well, but Looney, great play. Oh, I would have loved to see him sneak, but he just pulls a flag anyways.
Oh, no.
He's going to challenge this guy as well. Nimble able to trade that one. Swiftizor already in a great position. May find a couple of kills off the spawns off a Rise.
Yeah, and this has been the story of defense so far the last 3 minutes of this map. Just teams playing defense in the base, picking up clutch kills. We're going to see Tainted Minds with map control here once again. I like to see them pick up the pace this time. You know, they get that kill right there. It's a 3v4 push. Maybe get these trades and get a push. They do have the lead, though.
Yeah.
But a one-cap lead against Rise Nation, that's not always the safest bet.
No, I think the big thing is they can't go a clean 4 dead, right? Like, they have to just stagger Rise as much as possible on this Cabin side like they're doing right now. You know, 2 go down. So now Gunless and Slasher, they can't get too far pushed up. But just as I say that, kills go their way. you could see the cabin spawns do come in. So Swifty, he's gonna back on up. Big couple of kills go down. I like that stun. He stuns TJ. He knows Gunless is out here as well. Swiftazor, some nice shots with him, but where is the trade? Not there. Gunless still alive.
And what scares me about them playing for that map control is that Rise Nation is such a deadly team. If they just execute one of those offensive pushes, it's a tie game. But so far, so strong. Out of Tainted Minds, they've been holding on to their defense, and it's been working. So 1 minute left here on this side. The pressure is on Rise Nation to make a play. TJ is going to be trying to hit this flank here. He's a one-on-one against Damage. We'll see if he's able to win it.
Yeah, but Damage, he's aware of it, and he's going to ask for help from Swifty. It's really been the subs for me. Swifty and Nimble, those two guys have just been causing havoc in Rise. They've been so annoying, controlling that cabin area, you know, controlling ruins, just doing a great job. Even when they're pushing up, finding kills around bunker. It's really been the subs that have impressed me out of Tainted Minds. Just 38 seconds left. Slasher and Looney trying to get cabin control. Stun goes out, but he's not able to find it. Who is it? Damage and Nimble. They're locking it down.
Joe, and how good of a job has Tainted Minds done so far at holding cabin? I feel like every time we switch back to a Tainted Minds player, they're just fighting for cabin control and they're executing these trades. This has been an amazing side out of Tainted Minds, amazing CTF. If they're able to hold on here for 15 more seconds, they're going to secure this victory.
Yeah, you can see what Rise is doing. They're trying to overload this side of the map with 10 seconds left. They're just trying to get a flag touch. You have Swifty here able to find one. Nice shots on the Slasher, but not able to find that kill. Able to find that one. Damage finds the last two, and there we go. Tainted Minds able to steal that capture the flag against Rise Nation. We're headed to a game 4.
That was well played.
Yeah.
Good job, Tainted Minds.
I agree. Just really right off the start, they got, what, 2 flags in about 2 minutes. And, you know, even when Rise Nation put a little pressure on them in that second half, they kept cool. You know, they played very calmly, always prioritizing really that cabin control that you were talking about. And they just made it difficult for Rise to get pushed up.
Yeah, and I was being extremely critical of the way that they were just holding down the map and not pushing with their numbers, and they made it work. They got all the kills they needed to get, and who am I to judge? They just beat Rise Nation on Arden's CTF. Amazing performance out of Tainted Minds. Played it flawlessly.
No, definitely so. I think sort of what you're talking about is a lot of the times we see teams turtle, right? They'll sort of just play for that middle map control. The one team that always does it that sort of sticks out to me is Evil Geniuses. They're very much a team who plays their leads. Just give them map control, make them come to us. When they do come to us and we win all those gunfights, that's when we go. But as you were saying, some teams, they'll just get a man lead and then they'll push. But if that fails and you lose map control, that's when Rise gets a little bit dangerous. Yeah, so go ahead.
I was going to say, it can be a lot of trouble. If you kind of like turtle around like that and you get a kill and you don't push, you can end up getting taken out, and then they have a quick push to your base. And it's like a 3v1 off spawn. You spawn out, they get the cap. And Tainted Minds holds on to control there, though, and they win. So big shout out to them. They learn from their mistakes after losing the Optic.
Oh, definitely so. And I mean, even in the, the E United series where Clay was saying, you know, you guys don't scrim CTFs. And since that, they've dropped 2 CTFs. One to E United, one here now against Tainted Minds. Maybe they got to go back to practicing some CTF. We'll have to wait and see. I'm sure they're just thinking, let's just focus on this game 4. We know we're the better hardpoint team.
Yeah, Clay's in their head. He's in their head. They can't win CTF anymore. But yeah, hardpoint has been their forte. Hardpoint and search and destroy. Going into this game 4, I think it's going to be a Rise Nation victory. Obviously, we have seen Tainted Minds play St. Marie once so far, I think.
Against
versus
Optic.
Yeah, it was very close. So they do know what they're doing. Rise Nation might be too tall of a task to take on here on the St. Marie hardpoint, though.
And we always talk about it, though, just how one map, right? Just getting one map win sort of brings that confidence level up. It's like, all right, guys, like we can play with the best teams in the world, right? Like we were competitive, you know, in that CTF. We were able to take it. We made the right decisions. We were winning gunfights. I think that's a big thing, right? We talked about Nimble and Swifty. There's some machine guns. If they're able to get going, they can put some early pressure here on Rise.
Yeah, I think Nimble got a lot of confidence in that map right there. He was going off on the flanks, and he was picking up a lot of kills and leading the caps. So.
No, definitely so. But after this week, we are going to head to CWL Anaheim from June 15th through the 17th. Tickets on sale now. Ant, you and I have played a bunch of Anaheims. Always a great event.
Yeah, the atmosphere is crazy at Anaheim. It's by far my favorite open event location that we've ever had. I can't wait to head back there and just get some California sun.
Yeah, definitely so. Hanging out at that pool.
Oh, yeah, I'll be there Wednesday and Thursday before the games.
Here we go, though. Game 4 loaded on up. St. Marie Dumont hardpoint on board with Nimble. Had a great game 3. Was really that playmaker for Tainted Minds. He's going to win that first gunfight versus Looney. This is what I was talking about. Sort of gets that gun warmed up. You do have early control to Rise Nation, but the trades are in now. Tainted Minds trying to get in, but really TJ's being that annoying guy up top. He's already at, what, 4 kills, so a great start from TJ. And, well, make it 6 in a row as he does find a glide bomb.
Yeah, and Nimble trying to work on that flank there again. Might not work out too well in the hard point. TJ earns that glide bomb off rip. Early control going to be on the side of Rise Nation. Slasher going to be trying to hold down this courtyard here with the bar.
You think that's just a bit of overconfidence right there from TJ? Like, you're, what, 50 points away? I don't know if there's any reason for him to have to challenge that Arch's gunfight, but he sticks out just a little bit too long. He gets taken down by damage. I mean, you have full streaks already. You're talking about breaking parking lot. You're talking about breaking, you know, lookout posts. There's so many things you could do with an artillery in a fighter pilot. Instead, Tainted Minds, they fight on back, but you do have early winery control over to Rise.
Yeah, so Rise is going to earn that spawn there, back Wine. Tainted Minds going to be trying to push through Wine and Dirt Path here. If they're able to execute some kills, they can flip them out. Number 2 is going to be Swifty trying to stay alive on the pinch. If they're able to execute kills, they might get the spawn here, and they do pick up a kill on Slasher. He spawns all the way out lot. Tainted Minds working on spawns for 1.
No, I like this a lot, but the one player that's still alive is Looney, right? I think Looney is that one guy who's always so smart. We talked about he just makes that heads-up play is so annoying to deal with. He doesn't go down. Gunless finds a couple of kills. Now you have Slasher pushed out. And due to the positioning, right, due to Slasher spawning out all the way towards Stable, he actually blocks the front spawns. And due to Tainted Minds fighting the back, they spawn all the way out towards that green tower, and that's the worst spawn you could ask for.
Yeah, and he's able to just pick up those cutoff kills easily, and they're going to earn the rest of this time here. Tainted Minds looking to set up here in parking lot.
Yeah, so this is a big one for Tainted Minds. We talked about a lot in game 1. If you're going to give up, you know, that early rotation, you have to be able to lock down the hill. So you don't even have anybody in it just yet. Swiftazor, he's going to back down up. You have Nimble, able to find one, but here comes that glide bomb. Gunless and Looney find kills, and while they do have a couple players spawn back there, this is going to get dangerous for Tainted Minds.
No, Tainted Minds did not look at field at all. I'm curious. I didn't see which player it was, but Looney ends up getting pushed on through field there. He's going to pick up a kill, and now Rise is going to have a lot of pressure here. Number 6, that is going to be Looney cutting off the front spawns now. Tainted Minds hanging on by a thread.
Yeah, just one player left, though. It's just Swifty. His Gunless, yep, he's going to find 2 more. And, well, that's all Rise Nation needed to break into that parking lot hill. As you said, you know, they don't watch field. That's where Looney goes. They call on the glide bomb. That just gives them so much positioning on the map. These last 20 seconds, they go to Rise.
Yeah, so back-to-back hills primarily in control of Rise Nation. Right now, the game can get blown open if Tainted Minds don't capitalize on this hill. So this is a huge rotation. Nimble's going to be pushed up here into the stables area. He gets the first kill. Going to go for the second on Gunless. They need to hold down this position here and watch their pinch in order to hold this hill. Number 6 might get through. That's going to be Looney. Oh, big win out of Swiftazor.
Yeah, 3 go down for Rise Nation. They spawn pretty far out. I like this. You obviously have number 3. That's Nimble and Swifty pushed out on both sides. And Nimble, he recognized the situation. I like that play. He knows where those spawns are coming in for Rise. Try to get early restaurant control. Damages, though, is able to find a couple of kills. Swiftazor finds 1. And there we go, the trades go in favor of Tainted Minds.
Yeah, so early control looking pretty good for the side of Tainted Minds. One thing I have noticed out of Tainted Minds is that they force every single challenge. Nimble on that push, it's not that bad of a play to push into bottom red there, or bottom bricks.
You could just wait there,
right?
If
you just wait there, you buy time for yourself, as well as you might get the 2-piece. They might not even look at you. So that can spell a little bit of trouble, but if they're winning their gunfights, it's going to go well for them, which is what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
They almost get the full 60 here.
Yeah, they're right back in this one. If they lock down these last 10 seconds, it'll be 100 to 80 after the first rotation of hill. Rise Nation, though, they do have early restaurant control. Damage going all the way around. Is able to find 1. He's working on some streaks on a 6-spree. Again, he's had a great series for Tainted Minds. Can he find any more streaks? That'll be the big question. I would have loved to see him just go and try to get into that hill. You do have 1 player up top. He goes in the trade, gets full streaks. Just at the last second, his Slasher, I believe, jumped out of the top window. But for Rise Nation, they do have hill control, but they will have to worry about those streaks.
Yeah, so Tainted has an opportunity here to bring this game back. If they're able to get a little bit of scrap time on this hill, they have streaks to invest into Wine. So yeah. I want to see them coordinate a solid push. And right as I say that, TJ and Slasher are going to clean house, take out all of them. Solid plays out of Rise Nation.
Yeah, before TJ went down there, you had a 9 streak on the side of Rise. Well, yes. Did Tainted Minds lock down that 4th hill, but Rise Nation responds with basically a full 60 of their own. Tainted Minds hasn't touched this hill once. You do have Nimble going all the way around at the top of that mini-map. Gunless and Crew are trying to hunt him down. as we go over towards that rotation. They use the glide bomb to find him. I like that play. Make sure you have a successful rotation towards Winery.
Yeah, and streaks used on rotation are extremely important because if you do kill that player before the hill pops, you could potentially spawn them out across the map. I would have liked to see Tainted Minds calling their glide bomb while Nimble was trying to push for that spawn, maybe kill the opposing team pushing them. But they're still on the offense here, pushing to try to achieve these spawns.
Yeah, you do have TJ. He spawns out due to the positioning of Swifty. Glide bomb was used by Tainted Minds. You have to, take advantage of that. As Nimble and Swiftazor, they do get on the hill, but Slasher was able to stay alive in the back. So now Tainted Minds, some big gunfights going down. Nimble able to win one. At the front, you have TJ trying to cut off the reinforcements, but Nimble and Damage are staying alive, doing such a good job. And with 20 seconds left, watch those red arrows. It's going to be a sprint across that field, and Damage is in a great spot.
That's a barrage.
If he goes as well, there we go. He's going to cut off. He could get so many kills right now. Oh, my goodness gracious. Gunless has a gun.
I would have loved to see him call that barrage in there and just try to get to the back spawns. I think that is something that we don't see too often in the Pro League, is people using artillery barrages to ensure spawns, and I would have loved to see him use there. Now he's going to try to use it kind of as a defense mechanism.
I don't think this. I think TJ can get on this.
Yeah, and that's the issue you see at times.
Now he blocks off the front.
Yeah, so when they call it in kind of in this situation, you block off one of your lanes to push the hill, and you're not really getting any spawns. So it's not really the smartest play to make with an artillery barrage, which is kind of why I said I like to see them use for spawn.
I mean, I don't mind the artillery. Just put it on the entire hill. At least stop them from getting time. TJ just hanging out in the back. And then they invest the fighter pilot, which is so good on the fourth one. Gunless now on a 5 spree. He's 21-11, making 22-11. Now he has some streaks, and that is just such a big mistake from Tainted Minds. They blow that artillery barrage. They blow the fighter pilot. Rise Nation now with an 80-point lead.
Yeah, and Joe, I mean, me and you played forever. It's a skill to be good with score streaks.
Yeah, no, I mean, and to use them at the right time and execute, with them. I mean, the reason is we put so much pressure on these pro players because they should be able to do it correctly, and just time and time again, we've seen mistakes. I mean, even if you look at stage 1 with that era team, how many times they got streaks, and it put them in the games, they just didn't use them correctly. Gunless now going to call that glide bomb in. This should be a pretty good break. You do have a couple players here. Switazor, though, he's going to get traded out. Now Rise Nation just 40 points away from taking this series.
Yeah, and you see Rise, they set up around that stables there. They play it pretty slow. They do have a glide bomb, so they wait for that initial pick. Once they get that pick, they use the glide bomb to push up and trade and get control here.
Yeah, TJ, he's finding some kills as well. A slow game from Looney, but, I mean, that's just what happens when you have TJ and Gunless going off the way they are. That sort of, duo just so strong on the map.
He's chilling. Looney's chilling. He's holding the back, being a nuisance.
He's got a minute 38 on the hill.
Yeah.
I'd love to be in his position right now.
Oh, yeah.
Put me on that team.
That's a great time. But, yeah, Looney definitely one of the best players in the game at the moment, just being that nuisance and playing so intelligent, holding down positions for his team. He's going to be set up here in bricks, gets taken out by Swifazor. Desperately in need of some time here on the side of Tainted Minds.
Definitely shown it. It's sort of the same story. Tainted Minds in game 1, they fought on back, and then it was just a couple of plays that allowed Rise Nation to put the game away. Looney trying to get in, but still restaurant control over to Tainted Minds. Just 11 seconds needed for Rise. They're going to try and finish it right here. Nimble has mid-street control, is getting pinched by Looney. Now it's on Swifazor and crew. They find any kills, and it looks like they're able to do so. So still delaying the inevitable, it feels like, is, as I said, Rise just 11 seconds away. You do have Looney, though, and here's that big flank. But I believe I heard the call out from Damage. He spawned on up. A great hold right now from Tainted Minds.
Oh, yeah, and Tainted Minds actually flip Rise out here, so they have an opportunity to come back. If they get this last 12 seconds and they ensure this rotation.
Okay. Let's say they have to stay on it. They're able to
bring this game back just a little bit. It might be a little bit too much of a comeback for them, but I like the heart out of Tainted Minds. They're playing with heart. They're winning a lot of their gunfights, and they're showing us something here.
Oh, definitely so. So, Rise, they only got 1 second off that hill. So, as you said, a great hold from them, but TJ being so sneaky, able to, find Swifty. And it looks like Rise are going for a front push. As you have Gunless and TJ here. Damage, able to find one. Can't find the second. Looney's able to help them buy that wine building. Here comes Swifty, though. He's able to get on in. But look at this play from Looney. He's just cutting off the back spawns, cutting off those reinforcements. Just 8 more seconds needed. But Swifazor and Tainted Minds, they're still fighting as hard as they can.
Yeah, and it seems as if Rise started to play the last 2 hills a little bit sloppy. You didn't see anybody even attempt to go around for the spawn on the side of Rise Nation, besides Looney pushing in the wine to maybe get a few cutoff kills. All the players on Rise decided to flood the front of that hill there, which I don't necessarily agree with. Tainted Minds mount a little bit of a comeback here.
Yep, just 5 seconds in it for Rise. They're still trying to finish it. The one good thing, though, they do have rotation control. And while they have played sloppy these last couple of hills, lucky for them, no streaks were given. If you give up streaks, this is where it gets dangerous. Nibble, really the only player over here. Rise Nation, they're going to close it up on parking lot, able to take that series 3-1.
Yeah, a little bit too eager there for the win out of Rise.
Yeah, a little sloppy there at the end.
Yeah, but all around solid map. They were leading by a lot the entire game. But they looked a little bit human there. They didn't look like the robotic Rise Nation that we've seen from time and time again. Yeah,
I really think after a couple of those rotations, they felt like the game was over. Obviously, you go towards that restaurant hill where they need, what, 11 seconds. And once again, though, I think you hit the nail on the head where Tainted Minds, you know what? If it's another hill against Rise Nation, that's another hill where you can get better, figure out that setup. And they held restaurant well, they had winery hill and went to that parking lot. At one point, it was about 239 to 110. And they were able to take it all the way to 190. So a great effort for Tainted Minds. They were able to win that game 3. And yeah, I think they looked a lot better in this series.
Yeah, I think Tainted Minds definitely went home. They learned a lot about their gameplay, and especially for that Ardens 4 CTF, when I watched them initially, they were just sloppy. They didn't know how to hold map control, and right there was like a 180. I saw a brand new team. So if there's any silver lining, it is Tainted Minds learning from their mistakes.
You can see this. Look at this emotion right now. Out of gunless on Rise. Typically, you don't see this. A guy very quiet, but that's what I'm saying, right? I think they know as well that they didn't want the game to be that close. And
telling you,
after that loss against United, they needed that W because you could see how frustrated they seem to be right now.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a bit of frustration on the side of Rise Nation. That game was a little bit too close. You got to be able to close out your leads if you want to win events. And when you're up 200 and 100 against a team like Tainted Minds, who's going to be giving you hills like that in perfect setups, you need to close out. So rightfully so, to be a little bit frustrated on the side of Rise Nation. Go home, learn from this mistake that you made, and kind of not closing out your victory early enough and fix it.
No, definitely so. And like I said, they got a little bit lucky because if you give up 2 hills to a top team, there's probably one player playing for streaks. And then as soon as those streaks come into play around that parking lot, that is when, you know, teams are able to artillery, able to fighter pilot, and then that's when it gets very scary. But there we go. Rise Nation are able to close that series out 3-1. We aren't done yet, though. I believe Optic versus Mind Freak coming up next. You don't want to miss that one. We'll be right back right after this.
Rise Nation versus Tainted Minds. It went the way that we thought it was going to go, but it's important to talk about this series just a little bit. Chance, before we went to the break, before we jumped into the series, you okay there, pal?
Fine, man.
All right. Before we went into that series, Chance started to talk about the idea that Tainted Minds is a team that you think with a little bit of practice could go a long way.
Right. It's not that they're bad individual players. It's that they're not great as a team yet. I think would be the best way to phrase it. Like gun skill on gun skill, they weren't quite going toe-to-toe with Rise, but they weren't very far from it. Like you take a map off the CTF, if you have better streaks in the same reef for map 4, at the very least it's closer, and you're playing the best team in the game competitively. And now they have the opportunity where they haven't won a single hard point. You can go back, you can watch the VODs, you can figure out what setups are working, what setups are not, steal from the best teams, figure out what the best teams are doing, and just copy that, replicate that, because the gun skill is there, the individual talent is there. It's as a team, they're not quite. They're slightly lagging behind, but that's expected. They're the second best team in like the APAC region. It's the first time they've competed at this level. They should be getting stomped on, and they're doing better, I think, than most people's expectations have had. They're tied in map count right now with Epsilon, at least for wins, and they have like 2 more matches to go. You take a map off of Rise, I have faith in you, at least long term.
Okay, well, and the other thing that we need to talk about, Momo, it's your first time on the desk today. Rise was not happy coming out of that one. I think it was a little bit closer than they expected it to be.
I think, yeah, you look at the score right here, and map 1 and map 2, they're whitewashes. Rise Nation come out on top, but of course what you guys didn't see at home, Rise Nation after map 4 are just like almost frustrated with how that went. And honestly, I think they should be, because Rise, who are a team who should be looking at nothing but first, when you're losing CTFs like that to a team like Tainted Minds, and that's no disrespect for Tainted Minds, but that should be a 3-0. You've got to give the credit to Tainted Minds and what they did and how they overcome, you know, Rise and the kind of the struggles that they were faced with. But I can understand Rise's frustration with that. Even the second hard point, it should have been closed out a little quicker.
And that's kind of the thing right now when we look at a team like that. We keep saying that really they are the best team in the division, potentially the entire league right now. I mean, we've seen just so much success out of them, and they've only gotten better. They can't get complacent now. They need to be critical on themselves, even coming out of a game with a team like Tainted Minds, especially after, you know, what happened last week. I mean, they don't get every single W in their back pocket.
Still, they're going to be in a fine spot. Like, I think if you see some holes in the armor, if they drop enough CTF maps, they'll be like, okay, well, now we need to make sure, like, we keep our stuff together. We'll take it a little bit more seriously now, not that they're not taking it seriously, but they'll be trying to kick it up a notch. I think, again, long-term, this team will be fine. They will be a contender to win every single event we have for the rest of the year. So, Rise Nation, absolutely still in a great spot. Dropping a couple maps here and there, not a big deal.
They're not one of the teams in the division that we really do have to worry about, but we're going to look at the schedule, and you're going to see a pretty interesting story when we go all